Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows. This is Dylan Lang, Home Alone on July 30th, 2022. It's 11:06 p.m. A little earlier than normal since I am home alone and it's a hot one and I feel like not really getting too dressed up. So I'm partially nude here, but that's okay. Nobody cares. I don't care. As long as no one else does, it's fine. And this is a brand new episode of Dylan Knows, episode 457. Jesus is my realtor. Nothing specific I want to say about that. It's just something I saw on the road this week, and I thought it was funny, and I thought it'd make a funny title. So voila, here we are. So what do we got going on this week for you? This is, by the way, a news show, not your typical streaming show because I'm not streaming. I'm on YouTube making videos. You can call it streaming, kind of, but it's not like a professional grade stream or whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But my thing is I just do the news. Stuff that is new and unusual, things you might not know about, things you might know about also. All coming from basement of my house in Reisterstown, Maryland. I am home alone. My wife and daughter and son are on a scout camping trip down to Aztec Island, which is right off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. And it is right near Ocean City, Maryland. So they'll be down there through tomorrow. They're leaving tomorrow, so they leave there about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. They should get back between 10, 11, and 12. So sometime in early afternoon or before noon, maybe. My family will be back, but right now they are not back. I have spent the last day and a half really without them, really doing absolutely nothing. Went for a walk today. It was kind of a beautiful day out today. But yeah, I haven't done that much. But yeah, so I've decided to, since I have no other obligations right now, let's start this early and get done quicker. So we'll see what happens. So just watched Ghostbusters Afterlife again, still holds up. It is on my list now of a top 10 comfort films I like to watch over and over again whenever I feel like it. One of these days I'll probably make a list up of it in order. But yeah, there's been some changes. I did a couple shows of that when I used to do a list show with my friend Jerry Fletcher. But since I can't have guests on anymore, we have not been able to do anything like that before. So I do have a new list of comfort films. Maybe one day I'll do write them down and say, hey, this is my new list. Y'all should check it out eventually. But we're here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what happened this week in sports. No, not really sports. Though there's some sports in this. There's some death. There's some birthdays, some anniversaries. The Weird Al biopic gets a stream date. Magic at the baseball field. Some local news anniversaries that came up this week. Remakes, which seem to be permeating over stuff. New stuff. Movies delayed. What else? Supernatural stuff, outer space stuff, volcanoes, funfetti, candy corn. Halloween is all over the place here. We're getting closer and closer to Halloween, and it just keeps getting better and better. Eurovision makes my list this week. And archaeology, paleontology, so on and so forth. More proof that Loch Ness Monster probably does exist. Fun stuff like that. Changes, giant humanoids, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, animals, new roles, cats as aliens, that sort of stuff. So fun things to go like that. And Will Smith apologizes. So I am drinking Yoo-Hoo, which I haven't had in years. Figured it'd be something to do. And it's not as good as I remember it. So I remember back when I first started dating my wife, there was a grocery store near her where she was living, and I would swing there after an evening with her, and I'd pick up a 12-pack of Yoo-Hoo that I drank all the time back, and that was like 2000, so 2001. So, and then I just stopped drinking. I don't know why. I just either didn't feel like it or whatever. And then it made appearance in Stranger Things. I figured, and I saw it on the shelf at the grocery store up here. So I figured, let's pick it up. So something different for my drink of choice during my show. Almost done it. And yeah, it tastes the same, but it's not as exciting as it used to be. So whatever, just getting older, I guess. Let's start off with 2 skyscraper-sized asteroids are heading for the Earth this weekend. Obviously, they're not going to hit us, but the fact is that they will be running right past us very quickly. So it'd be still interesting to see. And if anything happens, something shifts gears or whatever, it crashes in us and kills us all. Oh, well. The world's shit show anyway. Madonna will be directing her own biopic. She wants to do it because she wants to make sure that it's my life. Why should anyone else ruin it but myself? So and she knows it better than anybody. So that should be interesting to see how she does that. Speaking of biopics, the Weird Al Yankovic biopic starring Daniel Radcliffe will be popping up on the Roku channel for free on November 4th. And also announced this week, Rainn Wilson from The Office is playing Dr. Demento in this as well. So it looks good. Looks like a lot of fun. I'll probably check it out on November 4th when it comes out. If not then, probably on the 11th, which is, I think I'm going to take off a day from work to go see Black Panther 2. And maybe before I go to the movies, I can check that out if I don't see it before then. Today, July 30th, 2022, Super Mario World, the video game, is 1 billion seconds old. Don't ask me why someone randomly pulled that out of there, but they did, and there it is. Today is also the 75th birthday of Arnold Schwarzenegger, which means my father and father-in-law are older than him, but he is the same age as my father and father-in-law, so that's kind of interesting. But he is 75 years old today. So Disney Plus, they're doing it right now. The Percy Jackson adaptation for TV with Rick Riordan being like one of the showrunners, I'm a producer, making sure that it doesn't get screwed up like the movies did, but he's involved with it. And people have been saying, hey, if you do a Percy Jackson, why don't you do this book series or this one or this one or this one or this one? Well, they listened, and one of those book series is actually going to be made to a Disney Plus show as well, because they are truly believing that this Percy Jackson series is going to be a gold mine for them, which it will be, honestly, to tell you the truth. So they decided to pick up one that everybody had been clamoring for a while, had a similar situation. They made one movie about it, and it was terrible, and the fans of it revolted, and same with the Percy Jackson movie, so they got 2. But Disney Plus has decided that they will be making an Aragon TV show, which is the books about the dragons that everybody really, really likes a lot. They made a movie about it, and it was horrible. And much like with the Percy Jackson TV show, where Rick Riordan is involved with it, one of the co-creators of Aragon is involved in this TV show with Disney Plus as well. So again, it's just it's just in the planning stages. The Percy Jackson one probably won't hit till sometime next year. Aragon probably won't hit till actually 2024, probably. So that's what makes sense. Martin Scorsese is in the news twice. His movie Flowers of the Wayward Moon, I think, or something like that. I have it around here somewhere, but I figured I'd use that one now since I've got a double story with him. Let's see if I can find it real quick. But his new movie, I guess Flowers of the something moon. Come on. Yep, Killers of the Flower Moon. Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, that has Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio in it, has been delayed to 2023. And Scorsese's also already lined up his next film with his new muse, Leonardo DiCaprio. They will be making a movie. Where did I have it? Where is it here? That is going to be called, where is it? The Wager, which is about a ship that lands on a deserted island with a crew that hates each other, and they have to try to survive despite the fact they hate each other. So it's supposed to be really gory and violent, much like what Scorsese to do. So we'll see what happens. That 90s show, the reboot that everyone's talking about of that 70s show, has finished filming. It'll be airing on Netflix soon. So I would say probably not this year, but probably early next year, we'll probably see this rolling through there. Shakira is being accused of tax fraud in Spain. And if convicted, she might have to spend up to 8 years in prison due to it. So we'll see what happens with that. People are keeping an eye on that. Johnny Depp makes over $3 million after his artwork sells out within hours of being posted. Apparently, it must have been some sort of auction, and it sold really well for him, and he's making some money. So people it's like sort of an apology, I guess, to him for the treatment that he got. I don't know exactly, but hey, it worked. You know what? UFC star Kamaru Usman has been cast in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So we'll see him November 11th. NASA witnesses a black hole giving birth to a stars. So that's something that people weren't expecting. So that's kind of interesting to see that. Archaeologists have unearthed the tomb of Genghis Khan. That's something that I thought would be bigger news than it actually is, but it's not that big of news, but it's news and it's there. So that'd be good. But the news that people might really, really want is you can get a half a gallon of soda for free at KFC right now. So I don't know how or reason why for that, but if you want to get a half a gallon of soda from KFC, you absolutely can right now. Fossil of a plesiosaur that has never been found before. Plesiosaurs, for those who might not know, they believed were some sort of dinosaur during the dinosaur era, and a lot of people also believe that the plesiosaurs actually what are in the lake, like Champlain and in Loch Ness. Obviously, they believe that they are plesiosaurs, but no one had ever really found any definitive proof that there were actually ever plesiosaurs, just people who have seen or heard or whatever like that. Well, we got our first definitive proof of a plesiosaur as a fossil was found. Unfortunately, not found near Loch Ness, but it could be a sign that there might actually be plesiosaurs out there somewhere. So we'll see about that. Divers have discovered mysterious holes in the sea floor that appear to be man-made and don't know what they're doing there. So that's kind of a weird, scary sort of thing. Gorilla lifts her newborn baby to formally show the baby off to zoo visitors. So, visitors were there and she was proud of her baby, so she held it up. We've seen stories like that before. There was another one where there was a human mom and her little baby were looking at the gorillas, and a gorilla came over with her baby and showed the baby off to the human baby. So I thought that's kind of neat as well. That's sort of happening. The big news this week has been for those states that do the Mega Millions, the jackpot for Mega Millions, the lottery, had got up to on Friday $1.28 billion, one of the second biggest lottery jackpot in history, something like that. And someone won it in Illinois. So if you're in Illinois, check your tickets. You may be the sole winner of the $1.28 billion. Obviously, you're probably going to take the cash option, which is about $700 million. Would have been nice to have it. I got money out to get tickets. I was going to get tickets on Tuesday when it first originally hit $1 billion, but something just told me that's dumb. Why waste your money? You're not going to win. Something just nagging on me, so I didn't. And no one won then. And then again, Friday, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to my liquor store that I usually go to that sells tickets, and I'll buy some there. And I drove up into the parking lot. Every parking space for the liquor store was filled. And since it's on the same plot of land as a gas station, there also happened to be a giant gas tanker who was filling up the gas tanks, blocking everyone's entrance into the liquor store. So it was like, it wasn't blocking. You still could have gotten in and out, but there was no place for you to go because there was no parking. So because everybody was getting their tickets and stuff like that, but a gas tanker was blocking and shortening the area between the store and stuff like that. So I said that must be a sign not to go for it. And am I disappointed? Maybe a little bit. I'd love to win $1.28 billion or $700 million because I take the cash option, but I also know that it's probably never going to happen. So, and it's fun to dream, but you got to live realistically. And I'm getting cynical and something in my old age. So I'm kind of ashamed that happened. Some entertainment news. Avengers Kang Dynasty, which was announced last week on my supersized show and at San Diego Comic-Con, has a director connected to it, even though it's not coming out till 2025. The director is Shang-Chi's director, Destin Daniel Cretton. So that's good to see the Shang-Chi director. Now that starts till 2025, so he can fit in probably another movie in there between now and then. So he'll probably make another movie before then. And Lock and Key, the show also based on a comic book, an IDW comic book that had a show on Netflix. Its third season will be its last season, and the third season trailer was released this week. It comes out, I think, sometime in mid-August. So got that going on. So if you're a fan of that, go ahead and check it out. In local news, the first span of the Bay Bridge, which connects the mainland Maryland with the Eastern Shore, where Ocean City is, where my family is, opened 70 years ago, July 30th, 1952. So that's kind of interesting. The second span opened a few years later in June. So that's kind of, there's two spans right now. Also, the city of Baltimore officially was born on July 30th, 1729, when Lord Baltimore got the okay to create a town in where Baltimore sits now. So it's Baltimore's birthday today as well. Now, a really interesting story coming from the Baltimore Orioles, who are having a stellar season this year. For those who might not know what's going on with the Baltimore Orioles, my home team, just bear with me for a little bit. The Orioles have been undergoing a massive rebuild. They had a good team from like 2012 to like 2016, where they were consistently in playoff contention, but age and stuff like that was trades and stuff like that was coming, causing things to make the team start to go down the hill. And they realized that they had no farm system. They've got nothing. And the general manager wanted to move on to something else. So the owners brought in Mike Elias, who is the genius that brought the Houston Astros back from the brink, just like he's doing with the Baltimore Orioles right now. His first job was to start rebuilding the farm system, setting up also overseas connections to get some young kids in South America and Cuba and stuff like that, because we have had nothing to do with that. And a lot of the good players nowadays came from those types of things. So it took them a little while to do it, and they had to dismantle the whole team and get rid of high-priced veterans and just bring in guys that they can get and draft people and trade for prospects, trade their good players for prospects, stuff like that, so they can rebuild the farm system. And the team was terrible, has been terrible for the last few years. Then we had the COVID years where things were just as bad as well. And then last year was like the very, very bottom. They lost a ton of games. They were a lousy team. And now they're reaping the benefits of this long rebuild. It's been about 5-6 years in the making. They are presently one game above 500. I think they're 51-50. They lost today 8-2 to the Cincinnati Reds. But the last time they won 51 games, that was like the end of the season last year. So the fact that they're only halfway through the season with 51 wins is amazing. And they're playing really good ball, and they're having all kinds of stuff. Now, the trade deadline is on Tuesday, August 2nd, which means that teams are going to be dropping high-priced talent or trading to get prospects or cleaning house a little bit. And one of the rumored people to be getting cleaned out is Trey Mancini, who was Oriole for life, who was drafted by them and had come up through the system and had played during the rebuild years. He was the one consistent guy and he's a good player. He's a good hitter, a good fielder. And 2020, he contracted, I think, leukemia. And so he had to get the radiation therapy. And so he couldn't play all 2020. and they were doubtful that he might play for 2021, but he worked his way back up. And he played not the whole year, but he played a good portion of 2021 and won the Major League Baseball's Comeback Player of the Year award, which is really good. And then he's been okay this year, pretty steady. And he's now reaping the rewards of a good team. But now he's the one that, everybody thinks, he's going to be trade bait. He's 31 years old. The positions he's played, he hasn't played them really well. The outfield and first base, they have people who are younger, and the prospects who have grown since Elias took over that are now it's time for them to make a statement and get the Orioles into the top. So there's talk that Trey Mancini is going to be one of the ones to leave Baltimore, which would be a shame because we really need someone like him on this team to sort of a connected thread to all the Orioles stuff and not all this young people. We need some veteran players. But I'm not the GM or the owner, so what do I know? But what I do know is that in sports history, in Baltimore sports, there was a young man named Mo Gaba who had some sort of form of cancer or some sort of disease that made him blind and stunted his growth and caused him immense pain. He had to have lots of operations and lots of therapy and stuff like that. But he was always an exuberant, vibrant young man, and his favorite thing is baseball and football and basketball. I love sports, so he would call into the local sports shows and talk to them, and he soon became a favorite on the sports stations. And because of his fight and all the stuff that he's been doing in his illness, and he's fighting through it and being good, and doing all kinds of stuff, the local teams took notice. The Ravens had him read one of their draft picks a few years ago, invited him onto the field. He threw out the first pitch at an Orioles game, and he became really close friends with Trey Mancini because he, remember himself, is going through a difficult disease as well. Not as bad as Mo's, but still they had a similar thing. And he was, Mo and him were very, very close. Mo died a couple years ago, maybe a year or so ago, I think, at the age of, like 16 or 17. So he was still really, really young. And the Orioles and the Ravens honored him all last year. So it must have been late 2020. Honored him all last year, and they have created at the Orioles game Mo Gaba Day, which was on Thursday. It was on Thursday. And Thursday was getaway day for the Orioles. It was the last of the 4-game series against Tampa Bay Rays at home in Baltimore. So it was a 12:30 start. And since it was Mo Gaba Day, they started Trey Mancini in the game because of his being close to Mo and stuff like that. And it was a dreary, cloudy kind of yuckish day, but the Orioles, and the Rays got the game in. So flash forward to about the 8th inning, the Orioles are up 1-0 and there's a man on second, I guess, with maybe 2 outs, I guess, something like that. And Trey Mancini comes up in what very well could be his last at bat at his home stadium as the Baltimore Orioles, since the Orioles are presently on a 6-game road trip. And they will not get back until after the trade deadline. So this could have been Trey Mancini's last at bat as an Oriole. And the crowd knew it. They gave him applause and stood up and waited to see what happens. So pitch comes, and Trey Mancini hits a pop fly. Easy pop fly out to centerish field. As I said, it had been cloudy all day, but the sun had started to peek through a little bit. And then when Trey got up to bat, the sun came out full bore. And that affected the center fielder for the Rays, who misjudged the ball, and the ball ended up hitting him on the chin, or on the cheek, I should say, and bounced off of him. So Trey just kept running and was able to leg out an inside the park home run on his last at bat on the first sun they've had all day, on Mo Gaba Day up in heaven, which could be his last at bat as an Oriole. So it's just a magical sort of thing. The Orioles end up winning 3-0. It was just sort of a magical sort of story. And if you believe in that type of stuff, but it just seems everything just fell into place. His possible last at bat as an Oriole, Mo Gaba Day, no sun until his at bat, an inside the park home run, which is really, really hard to do, particularly in Camden Yards. But he did it, and that's kind of a neat little story about that. So that's a good little thing. When it's some of the deaths now that's happened this week. Tony Dow, Wally Cleaver had an interesting week this week. He was pronounced dead earlier in the week, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, he's still alive. We don't know why people thought he was dead. He's still alive, and then he died the next day, for reals this time. So he was Wally Cleaver from Leave to Beaver, and also directed Swamp Thing, which I did not know. Bernard Cribbins, who played Wilf on Doctor Who, and also was an actor who did a ton of stuff over in England. It was a well-regarded actor over in England. He passed away this week as well. He did film some scenes for the 60th anniversary Doctor Who show, which will be airing next year for its 60th anniversary. So that should be interesting to see his last work there. Paul Sorvino, character actor who mostly played mob guys, gangster guys, but also played had a role on Law and Order for a long time, where he was one of the good guys. But he was in movies like, I think he was like in The Godfather and Goodfellas, and he was in Dick Tracy. And I remember him from The Shadow, which is a really interesting movie where he played a mob sort of guy who was working with the bad guy. And then when he discovered that the bad guy was a Nazi, since the movie takes place in the early 40s, late 30s, he ends up helping the FBI take down the bad guy, even though the FBI hated him as well. But that was kind of fun. But yeah, Paul Sorvino, who's also the father of Mira Sorvino, he passed away this week. Character actor David Warner passed away this week as well. He was in Time Bandits, was the voice of Ra's al Ghul on the Batman animated series, was in Tron, The Omen, was in Star Trek multiple times on the show. Just a ton of stuff. I can't remember all the stuff. He's done just a ton of stuff. And what am I flipping the page for? There's a reason for it. But he, the other deaths, yeah. But he did pass away this week. Also this week we had, let me see, there's no deaths here. Bob Rafelson, director of Five Easy Pieces and the co-creator of The Monkees, died this week as well. Kathy Scrimger, the father of... the founder of Shore Leave, which is the local sci-fi event that happened in Hunt Valley this past week, not that far from here. Mary Alice, actress in A Different World, Matrix Revolutions, and originated a role in the play Fences, died this week as well. Paul Coker Jr., an artist for Mad Magazine, Hallmark, and did a lot of the Rankin Bass characters like for Frosty and Year Without Santa Claus and stuff like that. He died this week as well. That's why I was like, what the hell? Because I had to find them. Super Smash Bros. Composer Kenichi Okuma died at 56 this week. I think that's all of them that I have here. Now, last week, I mentioned, I believe, that Ivana Trump, the first wife of Donald Trump, passed away. I believe either last week or early this week. I can't remember. She was with him in his early days until he raped her, and he got off on that. And so she divorced him and was able to get a nice settlement from him, and sort of disappeared, didn't know much about it. She died, I think, last week or earlier this week, whatever. But the weird thing now, which just shows how detestable Donald Trump and his crew are, is they had her body buried at his Bedminster golf course. Not a proper graveyard. They buried her at a golf course. And all that you have of it is not even a gravestone, a plaque that says her name, and some white flowers were put there. Her kids Eric, Don Jr., and Ivanka did not even show up for the interment as well, because they're detestable as well. And a lot of people now are saying that the reason why he did that instead of putting in cemeteries, now it makes Bedminster as a tax-free zone now, because using it as tax dodge, because there's dead bodies buried there now. Even though it's illegal in New Jersey to do that, he still did it, and now he's doing it as a tax dodge. He doesn't care about her, didn't care about her or anything like that. Her damn kids didn't even care about her. So just absolutely detestable, disgusting, and I can't even go on with that. So I'm just going to leave that there. Disgusting. Excuse me. Now let's do some anniversaries. National Lampoon's Vacation. It's 39 years old this week. Where's it? And then I know its sequel, European Vacation, is 37 years old this week. So it came out, both of them came out sort of around the same time. The original Amityville Horror came out in 1979 this week. So 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2019. That makes it 43 years old. Pee-wee's Big Adventure arrived 37 years ago. Outstanding movie if you've not seen it yet. Brought Tim Burton to the world. The Lost Boys also debuted this week in 1987. So 87, 97, 2007, 2017. So that would be 35. So it's the 35th anniversary of The Lost Boys, the vampire movie with Kiefer Sutherland. And I think it's Corey Feldman and Corey Haim are both in that as well. Alex Winter is in it. Stuff like that. Robin Hood Men in Tights is 29 years old this week as well. One of Mel Brooks's later movies. Not as good as some of his early stuff, but decent enough. The Mask, which was an outstanding film, that really cemented Jim Carrey as a star because it came out the same year as Ace Ventura, which made him a star. And this just added to that. On top of that, came out 28 years ago this week. I need to rewatch that because I remember enjoying that movie immensely. And I should watch it again. Deep Blue Sea, the shark movie with, what's his face? I know Samuel Jackson's in it, but it's like Thomas Jane. That's who it is. Debuted 23 years ago this week. Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, debuted 1989. So 89, 99, 2009, 2019 makes it 33 years old. That's just a bizarre little film. Jason attacks Manhattan, but it changed stuff up from having him go after people at camp because, hey, all these people are dying at camp. So why are we consistently still going to the camp where we get slaughtered? Why don't we change it up a little bit? They're doing that with Scream now. They're putting him at Scream Manhattan, which kind of is an interesting correlation. It's not exactly the same number, but it's close enough. So that's kind of funny. I think that's probably why they did it. Austin Powers Goldmember, the third one, which is actually to me the weakest of the series, came out 20 years ago this week as well. The best part of that whole movie was the opening sequence with Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise. That was really funny. I think Nicole Kidman's in there. No, not Nicole. It wasn't. But I forget. It was Angelina. Someone else was. I forget who it was. Kingpin, the Farrelly Brothers bowling movie with Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray. Debuted 26 years ago this week. Seabiscuit debuted 19 years ago this week. Caddyshack debuted 42 years ago this week, featuring one of the greatest songs of all time of the 80s, I'm All Right by Kenny Loggins. And So I Married an Axe Murderer, 1993. 2003, 2013, 2023. 30th anniversary will be next year. It's 29th anniversary. A underseen, but just as entertaining Mike Myers film where he plays only one other multiple role. He plays his father, Scottish father, which in turn inspired the TV show he did that was released May 5th, the Quinn Teverett. This movie influenced that. And it's not a great movie, but it's entertaining, and it showed that Mike Myers could do more than just do Wayne or Austin Powers. So it was something different in his oeuvre, as you would say. So that's all the anniversaries this week. And I think I'm done that page. Excuse me. I saw Halloween candy in my grocery store this week, which isn't in and of itself isn't that unusual. But the fact that it's end of July and we're getting it now, it's just kind of odd because Target doesn't have it out yet because they still got their school supplies out. And that's even weirder because school doesn't start until the end of August. Now, I guess it's about a month from now school starts, so I guess it's okay. But they've had these school supplies out now for months. So, but the grocery store does have Halloween candy out there now, which is odd because Hershey's CEO announced this week that there could be a shortage of Halloween candy this year. But considering we already have it, and the Reese's, which is a Hershey's brand, what the hell? I don't understand. So I guess to be continued, but that's the first of a couple of Halloween stories we got coming up this week as well. I'm so looking forward to Halloween. I'm so looking forward to the fall. I hate the summer. Speaking of football, preseason football starts this week, August 4th, for the Hall of Fame game, which means the preseason games are going to start rolling through here now. Training camp started this week for the Ravens and for every other team in the NFL right now. And so far, there have been a couple of major injuries to other teams, and there's been massive fights at a bunch of these camps as well between the players themselves. So it's going to make for an interesting year, I believe. Will Smith breaks his silence over his slap of Chris Rock at the Oscars and creates a video where he apologizes to everybody, including Chris Rock and other stuff, and tries to explain himself. I didn't watch it, so I don't know what it said. Jon Stewart, who was a sponsor of this bill in Congress called the PAC bill, I believe, which was passed, which was to help veterans who were suffering from a specific sort of injury. And then the Republican assholes turned around and rejected it after they passed it. I don't know how you get to, after you pass it, how you get to revote on it. I don't understand that. They claim that the Democrats added $4 billion to it, which is baloney. They did it because they are mean assholes, and they really can no longer say that they are for veterans, even though fucking veterans worship the fucking Republicans for I don't know any reason why, because they've done absolutely bullshit nothing for you. So I don't understand. And they were popping fists for dismantling a program to help veterans. And these veterans are still going to vote for them because thank you for your service, but you're a bunch of fucking assholes if you cannot see that these people are fucking you over and shouldn't, and not the Democratic liberals who you seem to hate so much, which I don't understand why that is. I'm actually talking to one specific veteran, but I'm not. That's all veterans. Not all veterans hate liberal Democrats. A lot of them like them, but there are a bunch that are still going to vote Republican because they just, I don't understand why. Again, don't get me started on that. Astrophysicists say a piece of debris that was found in a sheep paddock is actually space junk, not some unusual UFO or something like that crashing land. So that's a relief, I guess, I suppose. Graphene found interlaced with diamonds in an ancient asteroid is a first that they've ever seen in the universe. So they don't know how that happened. It's a new type of stone, rock, or whatever. It's kind of interesting. Excuse me. I should have drank some caffeine because I'm getting really tired. Let me see what else. Dead spiders have been brought back to life as necrobites, grippers to pick up heavy objects. So because spiders have an innate ability to lift things 100 times heavier than they are, science decided to revive dead spiders and use them as grippers to pick up heavy things. It doesn't make any sense to me either, but there we are. Something that is a bit more exciting and better is an all-female rowing team breaks a world record by rowing from California to Hawaii. That's just insane. They traverse the Pacific Ocean. It's like 6 or 7 women on this rowing team, and they did it in world record fashion. It's unbelievable to me. It's outstanding, and I applaud them. That's outstanding. The James Webb Space Telescope discovered the most distant galaxy they'd ever seen last week. And then again this week, where they found one that was even more distant than the one that they discovered last week. So they broke their own record this week as well. Astronomers also find a major planet circling a dead star that could support life for 1 billion years. I don't know how you could do that with a dead star, but I guess you could, I suppose. I guess the heat is still enough that it'll still make it tolerable on the surface, but I don't know. That's just kind of weird. A rare baby rhino was born. Oh, the second of her kind, born in 128 years. Holy cow. That's insane. Henry, the world's oldest known Nile crocodile, is 121 years old. 121 years young, you should say. We used to say stuff like that. This is frustrating. In Florida, of all places, where they are a god-awful zone now, and have a school teacher shortage. Well, their new rule is now, if you want to be a school teacher, you don't need any sort of education. All you need to do is come in, watch veteran teachers teach for a little while, and then you get your own class. You don't need a degree in education. You just need to be some bum off the street that says, all right, I'm going to watch this woman for a few weeks, and I'm going to go teach. Something else that pisses me off is I was gleeful about the whole Snyderverse bullshit imploding on itself. And now it was released this week that Ben Affleck will be appearing in Aquaman 2, taking the place of Michael Keaton's Batman, because people would be confused about why Michael Keaton's Batman is there. That wouldn't be the case if the goddamn Flash movie would just get its ass in gear and get out, because that's supposed to change everything up. And we're not supposed to have any more Snyderverse bullshit anyway. So this is giving hope to all these fucking Snyderverse assholes. And then that asshole Zack Snyder takes a picture of himself and posted him sitting in the Batmobile like, oh, see, Ben Affleck's back. So that means I'm coming back. No, you're not, you fucking twit. Go the fuck away. Piece of shit. So that's a bunch of bullshit. JetBlue has bought Spirit Air for $3.8 billion. So they've expanded their fleet. So good for them. Saudi Arabia is going to be creating a tall and narrow stripe of a city more than 105 miles long, teeming with 9 million residents and running entirely on renewable energy in the middle of the desert. So this is going to be a unique feat in engineering, despite the fact that Saudi Arabia is awful. But the fact is that they are trying to create a 105-mile city, and just thin and narrow and tall. So just like it's not wide, it's thin and long. And 105 miles, that's like from here. I'll give you a good example. Cuba was only 90 miles off of Key West. So go 15 miles past Cuba to wherever that is in the middle of the water, the Caribbean, or at the edge of South America, and then connect that to Key West. That's how long the city's going to be. going over the Gulf of Mexico, going over Cuba, going over into the Caribbean, and maybe even touch a little bit of South America. 105 miles. And it's going to be tall, and it's going to be in the middle of the desert, and it's going to be all done with renewable energy because, hell, the desert, you can do solar all the time because the fucking sun is out every goddamn minute in the desert. So that should be interesting if it does actually indeed happen. Lay's, Cheetos, cheese, potato chips are coming back out. Lay's tends to like to take things from other brands and put them on their potato chips. Go figure. Yoplait Kool-Aid yogurt, Kool-Aid flavored yogurt, I should say, is a new yogurt here out and about. Excuse me. That's kind of odd as well, to me anyway. Japanese officers assassinate the leader of a baby-stealing monkey group. I thought you'd hear that headline, but yes, apparently there were been some baboons or orangutans, something like that, who have been stealing babies. So Japanese officials says that's not kosher. They followed the group that's been doing it, and they killed the head one to try to destroy the monkey gang. So just kind of a weird, sort of bizarre sort of thing. I think I just got entertainment stuff now. Charlize Theron, who I love, is going to be starring in Alfonso Cuarón's new movie based on the life of Philip K. Dick. It's going to be called Jane. And Philip K. Dick is the writer of Blade Runner and Total Recall and a few other things as well. But the storyline is weird because apparently Philip K. Dick had a twin sister who died as a baby. And Charlize Theron is going to play that baby, something like that. Or what if she was born, sort of thing? Or is she going to be like a ghost haunting Philip K. I don't know, but that's what the description was that I read. Sylvester Stallone has a movie coming out on Amazon Prime called Samaritan, where he plays an old school superhero who has retired but gets called back into service one last time. Creed 3, which he has nothing to do with, Michael B. Jordan, no, Sylvester Stallone Creed movies, but is not involved in the third one. I don't even think he's acting in it as well. But Michael B. Jordan, who plays Apollo Creed's son, Adonis, who's been the star of the first two, will be coming back for the third one. He's also directing it as well. It's been delayed to 2023, and Creed 2 had an appearance by where is it? Drago. Yeah, Ivan Drago, who was the one that killed his father. And then Drago was doing what Sylvester Stallone was doing. He was coaching up his son in a battle, and that was what Creed 2 was about. So they're doing a spin-off of Drago. So that'll be, I guess, kind of an interesting sort of take. The Chris Nolan, by the way, Chris Nolan's birthday is July 30th, so happy birthday to you, Chris Nolan. His new film, Oppenheimer, comes out this week next year. And they did a teaser on the day it was supposed to come out. I think it was the 21st, which is a brief voiceover, one quick shot in the shadows of Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer, and then an explosion, and that was it. So there's that. James Gunn said he would make an R-rated Scooby-Doo movie in a minute. He was the one who wrote the screenplay for the first Scooby-Doo live-action film with my girl Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr. and Hawkeye's wife, Linda Cardellino. So, but he said he would do an R-rated Scooby-Doo movie in a second. So, I guess. MGM has lost the film rights to Lara Croft Tomb Raider. They were planning a sequel to the Alicia Vikander series, but now they've lost the rights to it. Alicia Vikander has said bye-bye, and now Tomb Raider is now available to be picked up by any other company to make Tomb Raider movies. So some company is eventually going to pick it up, and we're probably going to get a Tomb Raider movie here, a new one in the near future. I'm so sorry. I am so yawny today. I don't know why. Orphan Black was a hugely popular show. Tatiana Maslany, who was the star of that, is now going to be a star of She-Hulk coming out mid-August. They are now doing a spin-off called Orphan Black Echoes, and they've cast another Marvel alumna in Kristen Ritter, which means that maybe she might not be doing a Jessica Jones after all, because she'll be dealing with this show, but who knows? We'll see how that goes down the line. But she has been cast, and we don't know much about the spin-off, so we'll see how that rolls through there. Godzilla vs. Kong Part 2 has started filming this week, so look forward to that. The Blonde trailer that's going to be coming, the first NC-17 movie on Netflix starring Anna de Armas, had a full trailer come out this week, and it looks, pretty much like you expect. Looks Oscar bait worthy. Looks like it could be an entertaining film. So I'm going to probably be looking forward to it. I think I'll probably check it out when it comes out September 28th. So got about 2 months before that comes out. Max Headroom, for those who grew up in the 80s, you know Max Headroom. He's apparently getting a reboot on AMC with Matt Frewer, who played Max Headroom, is involved in some form or another. Sometimes you just got to stop doing reboots. Now, everybody wants to do a reboot. Reba McEntire says she wants to reboot her show, and Katie Holmes like, we could reboot Dawson's Creek. I was like, no, it's just stop. Create new stuff. You don't need to fucking keep doing new reboots and bullshit. So I don't think this is a good idea, but that's just me. Let's see if I'm missing anything here. Nope. Moving on to the next page. I got 2 more pages to go, and then I'm done. Let's see. Pokemon themed cookie tins are coming out as well. Put Pokemon on anything, and they'll probably sell really well. The Fantastic Four film that was announced again at San Diego will not be an origin story, according to Kevin Feige. It'll be you'll be thrown right into the world of Fantastic Four. So there you go. The Wizards of the Coast, which is a card game company, is setting up a video game branch. So they'll be releasing some video games there. Speaking of video games, there was a release of a new Lord of the Rings game about following Gollum around doing stuff. The Gollum game has been delayed indefinitely, so we don't know if we're going to see that again. Don't know why it is delayed, but it has been delayed, so we'll see what happens. Lake Mead's water continues to drain at an exponential rate. They found 2 bodies in there already, 2 remains in there already. And this week they found a 3rd remain. And you all know what that means. Lake Mead is not that far from Las Vegas, and the mafia probably used Lake Mead as a dumping ground because they never thought that Lake Mead would ever get as low as it has now. But now they've discovered 3 sets of remains in Lake Mead, so who knows how many more are in there. They're going to keep finding them as long as it keeps going downhill. But and that's just bad in general, that Lake Mead is disappearing exponentially. But yeah, climate change isn't real. Guy farts in a karaoke booth and traps a lady inside it, so she suffers with what they call his beefer. I hate that word anyway, but there you go. The Gray Man, the Russo brothers movie with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans and Anna de Armas, came out on Netflix this week. Did okay. Was the second highest viewed either show or thing in general of 2022. A sequel has been announced, as has a spinoff, because of course, why not? Roland Emmerich, he of the Independence Day and what else did he do? Day After Tomorrow, 2012, all these disaster film sort of things, is dipping his toe into television, into streaming now. He will be doing a Gladiator series set in ancient Rome, not based on the Gladiator movie by Russell Crowe, but just in general a Gladiator show called Those About to Die. So, yippee, I guess. Taron Egerton will be starring in a Christmas-themed TSA thriller from director Joan Collette-Simon. So another Christmas movie is going to be making its way out here next year. So that's pretty cool about that. The Tower of London Ravens, which there's a whole book about them, which is a really interesting thing, have had their first baby ravens born. in 30 years. So there's a nest right now with 30, in first time 30 years that a number of baby ravens have been born at the Tower of London. So good on that. Quantum Leap, the reboot is undergoing a little bit of a change. They have a new showrunner, so I don't know how that's going to affect the series going forward. Japanese sailors say that they have witnessed giant humanoids in the Arctic. Don't know how true that is. If it is true, whatever, it's kind of an interesting sort of thing. Speaking of the Arctic and the North Pole, David Krumholtz, who hasn't been seen in a while, who everyone was upset that his character Bernard was not returning to the Disney Plus Santa Claus TV show coming out later this year. Now, I got a surprise. David Krumholtz will actually be reprising his role as Bernard in the Santa Claus TV show coming out later this year, supposedly. Maybe next year, but I think it's coming out this year. This is fake, so I'm going to... I know that's fake, so I'm just going to cross that out. Excuse me. Guillermo del Toro's animated Pinocchio film got its first trailer this week. It's done. It looks almost like a stop motion sort of Pinocchio film, animated film. So that's interesting. An Amelia Earhart statue was erected in the Capitol this week. So that's good on that. My Dentist Murder Trial, an HBO Max limited series, is going to be starring David Harbour from Stranger Things and Pedro Pascal from The Mandalorian. Buzz Aldrin's moon-flown Apollo 11 jacket sells for $2.8 million at a Sotheby's auction. So that's a good price for a historical effect. Dozens of giant dinosaur eggs have been discovered in a fossilized nest in Spain. So I guess that's kind of interesting to be able to do some looks into dinosaur eggs and see how they were and learn more about them. Ice cream truck flavored donuts from Krispy Kreme. They're the ones who are going absolutely crazy with their flavors. They have the new bunch based on the ice cream truck Christmas flavors you all know, including the Bomb Pop and stuff like that. Toes painted to look like eyes are the new trend out there now. That's just kind of a sick, weird sort of thing. Litter of critically endangered red wolf pups have been born in the wild the first time since 2018. So that's continuing good, a sign of life recovering. Some Halloween news. Funfetti candy corn is the new candy corn flavor this year. Funfetti is like birthday cake flavored sort of stuff. So they're going to get sort of like birthday cake flavored candy corn. So cool on that. A skeleton couple inflatable is considered vulgar and suggestive. So apparently it's two skeletons embracing, and people believe it is too vulgar or suggestive. So that's just kind of weird. But who knows if we're going to see any of those anywhere around here this year. But there you go. A planet orbiting two stars that's discovered by TESS, the land-based astronomy telescope. And the Polish Institute has classified cats as an alien invasive species, which is kind of a weird sort of way to bring down cats by you cat-hating Polish people. Actually, not all Polish people probably hate cats, but still. A white cougar has been spotted in Brazil. I think I mentioned that a couple weeks ago, but it just came up through my stuff again. Here we go. More Halloween news. A giant Bulbasaur pumpkin lantern. Bulbasaur is one of the cutest Pokemon out there. And now you can get a giant Bulbasaur lantern for Halloween. I'll cross that one out too because that one is also fake news. Boom. 1,500-year-old crypt of rich warriors was discovered, and in that crypt, he was buried with his wife and children, discovered in an ancient Russian city. Japan's Sakurajima volcano erupted this week as well. A Black Panther video game is in the works. That makes sense with the new movie coming up. Gummy hot dogs are a thing that you can get now. So if you want to get gummy hot dogs, then go for it. What the hell is this? Oh, Jason Momoa was involved in a head-on collision with a motorcycle. He's fine. I'm assuming the guy on the motorcycle is fine also. The UK will be hosting the Eurovision Challenge for the first time ever in 2023. So congratulations to you, UK. A female version of Robin Hood called Robin Hood, Robyn, is going to be being turned into a TV series. Should be an interesting take, a reimagining on the Robin Hood series. There is a comic book from Zenescope called Robin Hood, so don't know, spelled that same way. I don't know if it's connected or if it's just a coincidence. I don't know. A woman has created a needy pet desk chair for those people who work from home. And your pet, or even when you're working, not from when you're just on the computer and your pet needs to be in your face all the time, all over the place while you're trying to work, whatever, and causes you to be distracted. She's created a new desk chair that has a little house in the back for the pet and little ramps and stuff for them to play on. So that's kind of cool. A Roman military base, I guess from the old days, was found in a Serbian cornfield. Yes, a Serbian cornfield. So just in the middle of a cornfield was this old Roman military base. So that's kind of weird. Russia is going to be dropping out of the International Space Station after 2024. They always seem like they were always up there anyway, and with all the stuff going on with Russia right now, it makes sense for them to get out of there sooner than later. So they will no longer be part of the International Space Station starting 2024. A medieval trailer, a movie starring Michael Caine and Ben Foster, debuted as trailer this week. Looks like a typical medieval sort of film, so you like the kind of stuff, it's good. Breakout star from Stranger Things Season 4, Joseph Quinn, who played Eddie Munson, was detained at an airport and was released when one of the detaining officers realized who he was and let him go. Mini light-up candy cane trees. You know, they have those Christmas ones now that are ceramic that you can get. Well, now they have candy cane colored ones that light up for Halloween decorations. Nope. Last week, Nope opened officially at $44 million, which is an outstanding opening for a non-sequel, non-superhero sort of film. And this week, it drops number 2. But the new number 1 this week is the Super Pets animated film, though it did not meet expectations. It's only going to make around $20 to $25 million. They were expecting more out of it, but it is not going to make that much, despite the fact that I've heard it is actually really, really good. A chess robot grabs and breaks the finger of his 7-year-old opponent. And before you go crazy and think that AIs are trying to kill American children. Sorry, I'm bleeding, so I'm just going to suck that hair off here. It was, in fact, that I think the boy was did not remove his hand quick enough from his chess piece, and the robot who's programmed to automatically really bleeding here. Follow his move. Was reaching for something and just happened to grab a hold of the finger and broke it. But still, it's a fun headline, meaning that AI is coming to take you away. What? Oh, cheese-scented nail polish inspired by Velveeta is a thing now. It's got the Velveeta bright yellowish color, and it smells like cheese. That's up there with a Titanic door-shaped raft you can use now for your water activities during the remnants of the summer. It's big enough for 2 people. Har 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 is the big joke. But yeah, it's a raft that looks like the door from Titanic. Yeah. The video game Grand Theft Auto had a fake restaurant called Cluck and Bell, that appears in their games. Well, a couple of gamers decided, hey, why don't we create it in real life? And a real life Cluck and Bell restaurant is now open. Wakanda Forever's debut of its trailer broke a record with 172 million views in the first 24 hours. I don't remember how that compares to the Spider-Man No Way Home one, but it is up there as being a high one. Oh yeah, 14-foot Oogie Boogie inflatable for your Halloween pleasure is now going to be available for Halloween this year, so good on that. Me Time trailer, Netflix new film with Kevin Hart continuing his Netflix movies that he's making with there. Teaming up with Mark Wahlberg and Regina Hall. Debuted the trailer this week. It looks just like a guy that, doesn't really do anything else, has a lot of same interests as his wife. Doesn't have a really kind of a life outside of that. And then his wife is going away for a weekend and wants him to do something for himself. And eventually he ends up meeting up with an old high school friend that gets him into trouble, and they have all kinds of adventures. So typical sort of film. Pokemon trading card game Trick or Treat booster will be coming in time for Halloween. So has Gengar on it. So just in time for the ghost types to come out. There'll be some new Pokemon trading card games. The NFL is joining the streaming wars with their own NFL streaming network where you can watch every NFL game. You just have to, pay the subscription fee like everything else. So whatever. Let's see, where should I go with this? Choco Tacos have been discontinued, and everybody's freaking out about it. Except the funny thing is, I don't remember people really eating Choco Tacos or them being a big deal. And all of a sudden it's like all over the place. People are screaming, no, you can't get rid of Choco Tacos and stuff like that. And I was like, I've never really seen anyone eat a Choco Taco before. So I guess, but yeah, so they're gone. John Cena is coming to Fortnite, though. And this is what I love about when Fortnite has these rumors come out. They say these new skins are coming, and then they're like a year or so later, like, well, where are these skins? And all of a sudden something similar pops up to them. Now they're saying that that Peacemaker skin was going to be coming to the island sooner than later with John Cena on it. But Peacemaker skin never showed up, but a John Cena one did with the emote of the "You Can't See Me" sort of stuff. So he is now officially in Fortnite as well. I bought him. My son bought him as well. Cinefuego Toast Crunch will be the first ever spicy hot cinnamon toast crunch cereal. You can now get that. And our last story for this week, right? Still check, make sure. Yep. A Vietnam veteran claims that while he was in Vietnam fighting the Vietnam War, he discovered a Bigfoot colony in the jungle. But unfortunately, it was wiped out due to the war. Now, that actually makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. The Vietnamese jungle is a little bit warmer, I think, than they would be used to. But I mean, a lot of gorillas, gorilla type stuff like that, they do live in rainforest type situations. So I guess I could see that a little bit. And the fact that it's so big and so deep and so dark, it would make sense for them to be there. And then it would also make sense that there's no proof of them anymore due to the fact that the jungle has been absolutely ravaged due to this war. And it wouldn't surprise me that, when they were bombing the hell out of it, both us and the Vietnamese, that they might have hit some of this, these colonies and killed them. It makes perfect sense. And it's sad, but it's true. I finished early this week because I don't know, I'm just feeling off today. I don't know why, and not as much exciting news as last week's blockbuster episode. Next week's episode is going to be the first one in August, since we are now on July 31st. So we're last day of July. Happy birthday to Harry Potter. And also to a co-worker and friend, David Little. His birthday is today as well. But next week, on Friday, we have the arrival of Sandman, the TV show on Netflix. I will be watching that, so you will probably be hearing my review of that next week. I think I'm just going to Write that down there. Sandman review. And I don't know what else is going on. The week after that, my wife and kids are going to visit my wife's aunt down in Salisbury, which is outside of Ocean City again. I will not be going because that is the week that my boss is off work, and they have pulled me back in to be like a manager type as well. No, I'm not going to get paid as manager. I'm going to be doing manager work though, but that's besides the point. But I'll be doing that, so I cannot leave. So there's that. So can't believe Sunday already. My weekend away from home is pretty much almost done. I love my family also, but sometimes I kind of wish I had a few more days to myself, but I don't. And it'll be great to see them come back by around noon tomorrow. So I got about 12 hours now before they get back. So hopefully everything goes well. Can't think of anything else going on up this week right now. So we will find out what's going on. I'll find out when you find out. So thanks for watching this stream. It's a quick one. And stay cool. And hey, 7th month of 2022 is now in the books after today. We're starting to enter into the 8th month of the year, which means fall's getting closer. And also cooler weather's coming closer. And all kinds of fun stuff. So getting excited about that. Take care. Bye.